You know, we call Super Lucky's Tale a playground platformer.
And we ended up leaning into kind of the style we call the playground platformer.
When we look at the soul of playground platforming,
You know, this phrase, this term playground platformer is something that kind of emerged during development of Super Lucky's Tale. What it means is that that Super Lucky's Tale is not this, you know, necessarily this linear experience only of just going from point A to point B. There's this inherent joy to the fact that most things in the world react to you and invite you to stop along the way and play with all the different parts of the world that you're exploring.
playground platformer is something that I think is this extension of Lucky in a way. The things that we found ourselves really drawn to were moments where Lucky felt free and that we were basically building off of this really exciting feeling of movement and movement as the core of Lucky. And Burrow is this extension of that thought, right? When we came up with Burrow, we said, well, we want Lucky to have this flow through a level that we haven't really seen before in a lot of characters. As we expanded on that idea of movement, this idea of playground platformer kind of came into being, where the true delight of a game like this for us is interactions with the environment, a feeling of exploration, kind of a mix and a match of different activities to do, all underpinned by this really strong movement.
Platformers have kind of existed on two ends of the spectrum, right? So you have more linear platformers that are just, I mean, where you're almost on a rail, like you're just kind of heading straight from one end to the other on this kind of more narrow path, and along the way you're encountering these platforming challenges. And then you have platforming adventure games that are much more open world and full on, like it's really just this giant sandbox to play around in. And we asked ourselves with Super Lucky's Tale, is there a place in between those two things where you have moments of more traditional linear platforming embedded in a world that is more of a playground? I think to me, it's one of the more joyful things about this genre is the fact that it's both a journey that you're on and also just a playground that invites you to stop and just enjoy yourself wherever you are.
One of the things we did want to encourage was multiple places to go investigate. It's kind of driven by what feels most natural to the player. So there might be a really cool shiny up and to the left, and that's what I'm going to go get first. And maybe that's a good vantage point for me to scout out where I want to go next. And we don't want to disallow that, so we let you get on a lot of different elements of the scenery. You can hop up there, and oftentimes there's a reward for you. Just a little nod from us saying, hey, we know that you got up to this cool little place, and isn't it a neat area to look from? And then in other levels we mix it up, and we say, actually this is more of a 2D level. There's still exploration, there's still hunting, but it's more about precision skill jumping. I think that also ties to playground platforming. We're not asking you to do one thing. We're saying solve puzzles, test your jumping ability, get really good at following sequences and finding out secrets, or maybe even helping out some NPCs in a quest. The game I think we've created here feels actually very different than any platformer I've played, while the elements themselves also feel familiar. The way Lucky controls, the way he negotiates these environments, the way the environments are architected, it's very loose, kind of wild feeling and exhilarating at times. I love climbing up onto things and finding a little secret there and then jumping from a very high point and burrow diving into the ground and continuing my chain. Like, I love that feeling.
You know, our mission at Playful is to bring joy to the world through the games we make. So all I'm thinking about as the end goal is somebody who buys this game, puts it in their Xbox, and they smile and they enjoy it and they love it, and it creates these moments of joy for them and their family. That would be the ultimate goal for us.
Meow meow. Yeah. Meow. Play it on Xbox One. Play it on Xbox One.
Hello. Howdy, everyone. This is a very special day here at Playful. Super Lucky's Tale just launched to the world, and we thought we would live stream that all to you.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yes. I'm David Calkins. I do PR and marketing here at Playful. I'm here with Dan Hurd.
Hello, and I'm the director on Super Lucky's Tale.
And then Stephen Hurd.
Hey there. I do community stuff here at Playful, like join in live streams and read your comments when you have some.
Well,
I can do that.
We are streaming this to a couple different places, but very special shout out to our friends Mixer and to Microsoft for rehosting the stream today. So we're going to be looking for your comments and questions. But first, we thought we'd just kind of tell you how excited we are about Super Lucky's Tale launching.
yeah. So
How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm a wriggle excited, and if you've played the game, you know what a wriggle is.
Yes.
And that he is very excited in the game. He or she, we haven't figured it out yet. But the team is incredibly pumped and amazed to see this game get out into everyone's hands. I mean, you develop a game for a while, and you're the ones playing it, and you're finding all the bugs, and you're doing all the things, and there's just this amazing moment that as soon as it gets put into the hands of players all around, it's like seeing your own game again for the first time. We're seeing streams of it, and it's just stuff that we overlook over and over again, and then people are calling that out. Hey, like, that was really fun, that was amazing, that was great, and it's those moments that I think really galvanize the team into just this event, and that makes this event so special for us. So I just want to thank everybody who's on behalf of the team, everybody who has supported us, played the game, just given us your thoughts. It's all wonderful, and the team sees it all right now, and it's exceptionally exciting for us.
Yeah, we are constantly sending out links to somebody else's live streaming a game, and we all hop in there and watch, and just are overwhelmed by how much people like playing the game. We're sending out comments that people are sharing on Twitter, and people are it's really fun to see the enthusiasm for this kind of like very sincere but cheerful throwback game that really kind of, for me, hits a very nostalgic place, because I grew up playing games like this, and I think a lot of us on the team grew up playing games like this.
That's exactly it. The keywords are I think enthusiasm, right? So you have to have, I don't think you can make a platformer and not have a certain level of enthusiasm. And for the genre and for the types of worlds that you can explore. And so the team has just poured tons of love into this game with a genuine excitement for, hey, here's some new characters that we can talk about, here's some silly worlds we can get into, here's some ridiculous scenarios. Like, we live and breathe that stuff, and we put as much of that as possible into Super Lucky's Tale. And I think it was key for us, because we all have this great nostalgic moment of our game playing past that we think was really important and shaping for us, right? That's why we love platformers and why we love crafting these experiences. And that nostalgic sort of itch is something we were hoping to scratch here, but we're also kind of doing that, it's like as you remember it, right? Rather than as it literally is. So we wanted to improve on some areas, and we wanted to tell even more of a story and show an even more beautiful world and lots of secrets. So that's what I think we've done.
Right. I remember you guys doing a lot of homework, playing some of the old classics to make sure that, we took what we really loved about those games, but made sure that it wasn't just our nostalgia, but we really pulled like the essence of those games, and I think a lot of those games still hold up today. Low graphics and everything, they're still really compelling.
Right, they're
parts to that.
Yeah, they're predicated, I think, on a really fun loop. It's fun to go explore spaces. It's fun to run and jump and find all those secret hidden things. It's fun to meet all these cool characters, and that doesn't age. I mean, that's this core of something that I think is always exciting, and so that really factored in heavily as to when we ask ourselves, what sort of game are we excited to make? It's those types of experiences that allow that to move forward. I want a game that I can play and enjoy. I want a game that my kids can play and enjoy. And I think that fun core just keeps living on and on and on.
So let me ask, what were some of the homework assignment games that you went back and play it as you were making the first game and then now the sequel?
You definitely need to play a lot of different games. I mean, the original Lucky's Tale was our first platformer ever, and many of we do have a lot of veterans from many different studios, ensemble. A lot of us did work in the Halo Wars franchise and Words of Friends and things like that. But this was the first platformer that had to come across from us, and so we needed to do our homework and we needed to learn, what makes a game really delightful and fun to play. And so we went back and we played, of course, the ones you would expect. Mario 64 was a huge moment for us, especially when we were growing up. So that's the first place you turn. Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. Those games are really, really fun, and they, I think, help change what it meant to kind of explore a space and run around it and have lots of delightful characters to talk to. And we got a little bit more esoteric, too. I remember specifically looking at games like Klonoa, Jumping Flash, things like that, to just see how do they realize a world, how does the character interact with that world, what's fun to collect, what makes a fun collectible, and how might they solve some of these problems that are kind of inherent to doing a 3D world and a character that runs and jumps on that on a flat screen device. And so, and then the breadth of experience is quite deep and varied across the whole team too. Everybody has their kind of favorite moments, and they're like, well, how do I express that kind of in this new game?
Yep.
I'm going to jump in. We're getting some good questions from all the different chats. Broken Stitch on Twitch asks about availability of the game. He says, is it available on Windows 10? And Rod just asks, is this a Play Anywhere title? And explain a little.
Those
Only
are
if
great
you'd like
questions.
I
don't refuse. I will explain that yes, this is a Play Anywhere title. It is, if you buy the digital version, you can play it on your Windows 10 PC and then hop over to your console, pick up where you left off.
And literally hop. You have to.
You do.
Or it won't work.
The floor is lava.
The console won't turn on unless you hop.
Yeah, it has that built-in recognition. So, but yeah, it is Play Anywhere on all of the Xbox One family, the cadre of the devices.
As we like to call it.
Yes. And have you noticed any other questions?
Some excellent comments, just things that are really nice to hear. From Duncan23 on Mixer. Excited to play this game. My Xbox One X is setting up now. GTW Sim says, absolutely love this game. I couldn't wait till 11 o'clock hit. I was hooked. So thanks for these great comments. Really awesome to be hearing that feedback as people are playing this game live for the first time.
It was fun to hear about the fact that people in some parts of the world live in the future, and they were playing the game.
I just found that out. I didn't know that people live in the future.
That people live in the future, and they can play the game like way earlier than everyone else.
And the thing I didn't do is I should have called them and asked them what my future looked like, a day ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. It looked like playing Super Lucky's Tale in Livestream.
I don't know how they knew that, but that's what they would have said to me if I had called them and spoken the various languages.
This is a great resource we have in the world. People that live in the future, we should leverage that. Anyway, do we want to play some Super Lucky's Tale?
Well, I want to. I don't know what you guys think.
That's personally what I would be doing if I wasn't live streaming. We could do both.
Okay, I say let's do both.
You for it?
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna play some Super Lucky's Tale. We may have a few folks hop in from the team as we play. Maybe.
And again, literally hopping.
Literally hopping.
Yes.
If they don't hop, we'll find their team 10 points. 10 points from Gryffindor.
They'll be fired actually.
So yeah, we may have a few folks hop in, but let's go ahead and just have fun playing the game and talking through it. I'm gonna switch this over here, and then there's their controller. Wait, I gotta... Rookie mistake.
I just can't wait.
All right.
Hey, there we go.
Sky Castle.
Yeah, so this is the first hub in the game. The story is that Lucky and his sister, Lucky has an older sister named Lyra, and she's an adventurer. And she comes back from an adventure, and Jinx, the evil Jinx, and his kids, the kitty litter, have followed her. And she has wrested control of this Book of the Ages away from him, and he wants it back. And in the ensuing fracas, Lucky gets pulled into the book. He kind of shoves her aside. He saves her, and now he's trapped in these worlds. And he needs to help shake the kitty litter out of the book, essentially, and help free the residents of these worlds to make everything whole again, so he can come back out of the book. And so that's where we start. And this is the first hub, and when you're playing it, you'll notice a lot of like little secrets and things. It's kind of a little training area, but we didn't want to be too hand-holdy. We just wanted to let you kind of get up and play. You knock birds around. That's tons of fun. And Lucky has his burrow move that lets him kind of burrow in and out of the ground. I think it's really, really satisfying. I love it.
It's my favorite move. There's nothing more satisfying than burrowing under something, hopping up and destroying it like those boxes, or just bumping into something. And there's other parts of the game where you smash into like a wall of rocks.
Yeah.
Just destroy them. Lucky has this destructive move at his
He's a
fingertips.
fox. I mean, so if you think about a fox, it's not like the fox is the most, just like gentle. You know, he has this power of the wild, and he is using it to shatter crates left and right.
He has more strength than he knows.
He has a lot more strength than he knows, and he may look really cute. And there he is. Oh, it's just adorable. But
and he's friendly.
He's friendly.
And he loves.
He's friendly to us.
Adventure.
He's friendly to players, but he is not friendly to crates, and he will destroy them without mercy every time.
Or coins underground. Just decimate. So. Yeah, this is the first level, which a lot of you guys have probably seen on YouTube or other people streaming from E3 or some of the other events that Microsoft showed the game off. If you remember that, you will notice right away there's quite some subtle differences. We added these ramps here. Of course, the UI is different, but the essentials are there, and of course our one of our fantastic friends, frenemies, Kitty Litter is Master Mittens up here ahead, waiting to greet you and throw down.
So one of the things we wanted to do was create a cast of villains that were just as lovable as a main character, and that are silly and just kind of don't take themselves too seriously. And I think that Kitty Litter really kind of hit that bar. They have been told to be evil, but they don't quite get it right. I mean, they're just kids, you know. Here's a spoiler alert. Secret. Oh yeah. So yeah, they know that they need to oppose you, but they're not quite the best at it.
As people saw in the trailer we showed beforehand, they're easily distracted.
Easily distracted.
Yes.
So you just did a move where you got a bunch of coins at once. Calexian7 asks, what are the point of coins in Super Lucky State?
So the way it works is you can go through a level, and there's a couple of different points of the coins. One is if you collect a certain threshold, I won't say exactly what it is because it's a little spoilery, but you will have access to a secret. And that's one of the things that each level contains. Secondly, when you come out of the levels, all your coins kind of pour into this really big container of coins. And at that time, for every, I think it's 200 now, for every 200 coins you get an extra life. So they all kind of pour into that bucket after you're out of the level, and then when you're in the hub, you get all these extra lives based on how many coins you collected. So it's a really good way to refresh your life total while keeping kind of the pressure on while you're in a level.
And to speak to the secret collectible that we will leave for y'all to discover, if you want to unlock further parts of the game, you may need to go back. This is there's a lot of different ways to unlock the rest of the game, but one of those ways is by collecting coins, right? Is that how it works?
Your question was to unlock... coins are not connected to unlocking the levels.
Okay.
We do have, if you can look up in the upper right-hand corner of our screen, we've got 4 different icons there, and those are the 4 different clovers that you can collect in each level. And those clovers, they help to undo the power of Jinx's magic, and that mostly comes into play at the very end of the hub in the boss door. you'll see that there's a lock on it, and it's looking for a certain amount of clovers to get past that lock so that you can face the final boss of that area.
I've been obviously spending too much time playing earlier versions of the game, and so thank you for correcting me on
You've
that.
been spending too much time fixating on your fake coin collection.
Yes.
And you've attributed all good things to those coins.
I was kind of banking on that for my retirement plan.
Yeah.
Which was foolhardy of me in hindsight.
If you retire in Foxington or any of these worlds, that may actually come in handy.
Yeah. Yep. Just gotta wait for that Neuralink, and then download my brain into.
Why
Lucky
wait?
Super
I mean,
stuff.
I can. I have some tinfoil. I have some wires. I think we can make it happen. That's all you do.
You're on. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What are you doing after this?
Nothing. Nothing at all. So
Why don't we just do it right now?
Well, we could do it now, but
Well, people want to see the game.
I think they want to see it more than our impromptu Neuralink surgery. So
Yes.
we'll hold off on that for just a little bit.
Yes, but if we get a lot of people asking about that after the show,
Yeah.
we will revisit it at another time.
Yeah. Hashtag David gets impromptu Neuralink surgery. That'll be our hashtag.
That is so going to catch on.
That one's already taken, though.
Oh, it's already
Something
taken.
else related to this.
David 006.
Yes.
It goes to the 100th digit
Yes.
because
yes,
of
because there's
some
a lot
reason.
of Davids out there who want Neuralink surgery.
Yeah, and it knew by adding. Never mind. I'm
Yes.
done with that joke. So what just happened there? I found the head of one of these golems. Master Mittens has so uncoolly swiped or broken his body, and now these poor heads are stranded. And they need to wake up this big old golem here because he's going to help you get forward, progress. And but until he wakes up, and he needs his energy to wake up. So the first thing you need to do is help these baby golems get their heads back on their bodies, and then they can use their ancient technique of banging the bell with their heads to open the way forward.
Now, one thought that I had is people have seen versions of this level quite a bit. We could always hop over because Steven worked really hard last night and played as much of the game as he could. So we have access to every one of the chapters of the book.
You know what?
of
I think
Ages.
if I see where you're going with this, and I think I do, you're saying that we should only play this level?
Yes, I was trying to be as obtuse as possible, and it worked.
No,
like a
I think we
charm.
should totally show all these other levels we have. We have tons, and I think we just kind of naturally picked on this one. But yeah, there are actually quite a few to show.
Yeah.
So we can hop straight out of this.
You could take us to
Something else.
your favorite level.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick a favorite.
Yeah. And there's ones that are really good, and I want to save them for your playthroughs, and that's the thing. I think my
Yeah.
favorite falls into that category, but and maybe you'll know it when you play it. It's an event. That's the only clue I'll give. But
I think I
but
know
we
what you're
can-
talking about.
We can pick something and play through that and show some brand new glimpses, and I think that's a great idea.
Your secondary favorite that you want to show everyone right now, and then saving the super favorites for
Yeah,
everyone.
because
to
I mean,
discover.
really, the audience just deserves nothing but the second best. Is what we say about this right here. Here we go.
While you're switching there, 3D Loki, a little confused, says, "Hey, what the heck? I thought this was a VR Oculus Rift title. That was the original Lucky's Tale game, which is not equal to Super Lucky's Tale. This is a totally new, full game that was a sequel. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
is
right.
right.
This is, the original Lucky's Tale was a Oculus Rift title, actually, and I think it's still a lot of fun to play. This is a brand new sequel, developed from the ground up, completely new game. Shares a hero, obviously, but other than that, is been completely designed for this launch. It's not a port. It's nothing like that. So.
And it just launched today
So
for
let's go to a different world.
$29.99, and you
Yeah.
can buy it right now.
That's great.
Sorry, I was
I appreciate.
kind of interrupting you.
No,
with
that's
the
how I
shameless
was gonna.
plug.
That's how I was gonna finish my thought.
Yeah,
That's how I
yeah.
finish all my thoughts. So,
And did you know that you can buy Lucky's Tale? $29.99.
So let's see. We can shake it up here. What should we show? Should we show something from the middle of the game? We can do some Veggie Village or some How about some Veggie Village? What do you think?
I'm feeling it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's see. Heaven Smile 94 says, how hard was it to get the controls just right? What goes into consideration?
Ooh, that's a great question.
You know, it's something that we focused on a lot. Lucky is a pretty unique character. He runs on all fours. He has, you know, his double jump. He can burrow in and out of that. One of the big things that we focused on, spent a lot of time on, was the burrow move. We felt like it really just gave him this sense of exploration and speed that we really liked, and comboed really well into kind of these buried collectibles and interesting arcs that you can do off of things. And then he has a burrow dive that kind of propels him at a different angle and can be used to attack enemies and stuff. So we spent a lot of time on that, and we think that's one of the most important things for a platforming character is that we, that he feels good. And so he has a lot of flexibility in what he can do. He's very responsive, and he can kind of get in and out of combos pretty quickly. And he can, he can jump and tail swipe and then plunge back into the earth. So it's simple, and that was another thing that we wanted to focus on. I think you can get very, very complicated with control schemes. So one of the things we wanted to work on was something that felt intuitive. Like you could just pick up the controller and not be like, hey, is this Metal Gear Solid, or is this a platformer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything's on the, the burrows on the trigger, and everything else is on the face buttons, and it's anybody can pick it up and start playing. But there's a lot of depth into how you play, and so how do you combo in and out of things? How do you attack enemies? How do you solve puzzles with the movement package? And I think that should be where the depth is, not necessarily kind of just the control difficulty up front.
And I think that's one of those things that really harkens back to the classic platformers that we all grew up with. They all kind of had that same simple controls, but a lot of surprising depth in the gameplay built upon those controls. And one of my favorite things just about being a part of this experience, of this company that makes this game, is I have a 5-year-old, and he has grown up playing Lucky's Tale and now Super Lucky's Tale. They are his platformers that are in his formative years, and he loves them.
Wow.
And he can play them because the controls are simple enough for him to figure it out. And so I've loved seeing him kind of learn, get into the platforming, kind of catch the platforming itch through the stuff we've made. And I love that we made it in such a way that it's accessible to everyone like that, and yet it still offers enough depth and challenge for people who grew up in these games and who are now parents themselves.
I think that's a huge point, and it's something that compelled us to make this type of game. Like you said, there's a lot of games out there, but I feel, and I know a lot of the team feels, that we don't see just kind of fun, lighthearted games enough. It's a pretty long wait between them, and we just the only way we can kind of get around it is by, I think, trying to make them ourselves, right? And trying to capture the feelings that we loved and translate them into new games. And so Super Lucky's Tale is our kind of response to that, which is, hey, I love this type of game, I love this type of experience. Where do we want to leave our imprint on that genre? Where, what choices do we want to make? What are our characters and our stories to tell? And really just focus on being able to share that experience that we treasured when we were growing up, right?
Yeah.
I think that was hugely important to the team.
And I think there's an appetite for games like that. And based on the enthusiasm we have seen so far, just in the leading up to the launch, and then especially in the past couple of days, it seems like there's a lot of folks who died. I'm sorry.
I got wrecked. Oh, I mean, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
That's the only thing to say.
I think we've seen that enthusiasm match our impression that there's an appetite for
well,
these
and
games.
so we've shown this game at a couple different venues, right? We've showed it at E3, and that was a really strong. We got a very strong reaction from the people who played it, and we're just kind of taking their words, which were, oh, it's been so long since I've gotten a chance to play a game like this. We love the game that that we're playing. We love that it exists. It's fun. It's not some sort of ironic twist on a joyful platformer, but is in itself just a joyful platform. And that was really important to us. We wanted to, when we say it's all ages, we think that all ages can enjoy this game and have a really great time. Sometimes I think people think it means like, oh, it's just for kids, or whatever. But that's not actually something that we think that the kid market is really, really an integral part of making something truly delightful, and it kind of helps to focus you on the pieces that are, is it silly enough? Is it colorful enough? Is it fun enough? But I really think appreciation of those things transcends age, and I think it's actually one of the biggest things that we can do as people to relate to each other is just kind of share in silliness together, and interesting characters and fun mechanics.
Right.
And that's how we approach the development of this game.
So we have some new folks joining us.
Yeah.
Do you want to pull up a chair and just kind of join the party?
I'll get out of the shot here so I can still read your comments.
This is
Lucky
Rachel.
party.
She was an intern on Super Lucky Scale.
Hello, Rachel. This is not our first time meeting.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet. It really is.
Rachel, do you want to tell us what you did on Super Lucky Scale?
Yeah, I did mostly collision, which was important mostly for performance optimization. I came in like at the tail end of the project, no pun intended.
I like it.
Nice.
Pun was intended, by the way.
Intended. So collision is.
I'm going to
mostly-
showcase some of your work right here,
Oh,
actually.
thanks. So
See.
anything that you can burrow into was
See.
something that I had to specifically mark for each color. And if you like walk on a surface and it sounds different from a different surface, that was definitely something that I did. But the most important part of my job was to optimize the way the game was running so that it could run at 60 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Yes.
super important.
So we're asking
what I'm
to
hearing in
get her
here-
closer to the microphone.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
So,
All right.
so we can
speak
hear
on
you
it.
and all these insightful
I
things you're
can
saying.
like yell. but
What I'm
like-
hearing is that you were the person responsible for making sure Lucky could not burrow into stone.
Yes.
In other words, you were responsible for making sure that Lucky's power was not just super powerful.
Was not
Yeah,
infinite.
not OP.
Yes.
No OP boxes.
Yes, we want Lucky to be powerful, but we don't want him to get any ideas that he can take over the world.
Right. I mean, some movies just released recently about super-powered creatures, and we didn't want Lucky to just top them all.
Yeah.
I think that was a concern while we were developing this game.
Right. I mean, the last thing we want is for him to burrow right out of the screen and take over the world in your life.
That was an ongoing kind of problem that we had, and we spent a lot of time and effort just making sure that didn't happen. And
And
containing
thanks
them
to
to
Rachel.
these worlds. And it was all Rachel's doing,
All me.
Yes.
So it was, just super, super, super critical while things are happening here.
So it looks like we've got a little pop-up here that indicates you are on some kind of mission. You want to
Yes.
talk a little bit about some of the quests that we've scattered into the game?
Yeah, so it is not just about only, getting from point A to point B. I think a lot of this we wanted to build into, here's a little mini challenge. So in this case, I'm trying to get across this bridge to the rest of the level, and there was a sudden ambush for me, right? And so we're ticking off all the enemies that you beat, and as soon as you can do that, we revealed the secret K here, which is nice. And it kind of just clues you into that there's more to do, that this is a thing, that you can pay attention to. But you could, in theory, you could just run past it and say, like, I don't care about Ks, and maybe that is kind of your lifestyle. You might not care about Ks really that much in life. Rachel doesn't.
No, there's no K's in my name, so.
Yeah, see, so that really just kind of shaped her from very early days into what type of person she was going to be.
I'm a completionist though, so that's one
Okay,
reason
so
why I
how's
like
this for you?
No,
Oh,
you can't do
no.
that.
Oh no!
Here, why don't you take a spin? And I'll
Yeah,
move.
that's
We
what
have
I said.
Rachel. We have
I
most
think-
of the worlds unlocked. So if you want to select another world, you can go
Okay.
to Holiday Cannon or Spookington. Have at it.
Oh, Spookington is adorable. So, but that is one of the things I really love about this game is that there's so much to do and enough that you can miss things. And I have been watching other streamers play this game for the past couple days with early access, and you know, you can't say anything, but a lot of people miss some tiny things. But it leaves a lot to rediscover when people go back to collect more clovers.
It's a good point. Also, just look at these ghosts. I mean, they're like little vinyl lamps or something. I just love them. I can't get enough of just their soft little glow and their soft little lives. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, there's so much personality in their eyes and the way their mouths move.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
One of my favorite things to do is jump on their heads, because I feel like if they were made of vinyl, that's exactly what it would look like if you were to jump on top of them.
It's a vinyl ectoplasm. It's a new hybrid material.
What level? Or is it level? Class?
It's class 4.
Class 4.
Yeah. I usually get it confused with 3, but it's actually 4. Yeah.
Is 4 the one that's made of vinyl?
4 is the one that is more vinyl than ectoplasm. It has a higher ratio.
We have more people joining the party. We're just going to keep filling this hall all the way up.
That's it.
One more.
Everybody's pumped.
This is the internet? That's still a thing?
Yeah, this is the information superhighway. You might have heard of it.
Is it tubes?
It's tubes. It's all tubes all the way down. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are talking to a whole bunch of streamers, or stream viewers, I should say. So why don't you guys introduce yourself?
I'm Mike. And
Liar.
Yeah, liar.
You may, in the back, need to speak up a little
Oh, okay.
bit.
I'm Mike. I'm the associate producer here. And this is...
Hi, I'm Sean Ketterside. They call me Sketch. I'm the senior producer on the project.
Hooray, producer!
Producers.
Yeah.
We're making sure this is on track.
So you guys were responsible for making sure the game actually came out today.
A little bit. The way I look at it is, like, Dan and I have very complementary roles, where Dan drives the vision, I tend to drive the team. So
And I compliment him a lot.
not really. You know.
Only
Mostly shaking the head.
Sean, have I mentioned how dapper you look today?
He's being very nice.
Why you gotta be today?
Oh no, he's turned it around into an almost insult on me. That's unfortunate.
It's alright.
That's how he be.
Whoa.
It's just
I
the same
didn't
as
even know this was up here.
on the flip side,
never got the,
I did dress
completionist.
myself today, so I did do that.
That's great. Yeah, so we haven't really streamed a lot of this level or shown it off at all before. So this is it's definitely a brand new look at one of the later worlds, Spookington. And in this world, the very evil Lady Meowmalade has run amok, and so you are tasked with getting her out of there. And there might be a few twists along the way.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
This level has some of my favorite NPCs in the game. I love the spookies.
They're so
I
cute.
love them.
We were just talking about how they're class 4 vinyl ectoplasms.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember one thing, remember that
Yes.
About Lucky's Tale in general and about these characters.
That's
It's
their
now
technical
canon.
name.
I thought one of them was a free roaming phantasm. But
Yeah, I think they're all. I mean, some are free roaming. Like these, obviously, are not. They have a pattern, a routine to their life.
This was one of the trickiest levels for me.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's
it's
tough.
probably good.
Whoa, you got
Whoa.
it. That was interesting.
I think I had stepped on his mask.
You did.
And I
Oh.
died.
Isn't that like the collision thing?
give it a shot.
Something that you
Whoa.
that might be something you need to fix.
Character
so.
collision was a little bit. Yeah.
This is later in the
I just
game
messed with
too,
it.
so our jumps are a little bit more intense, and our the challenges have kind of steadily grown throughout the game. But yeah, this is one of the later worlds. We have these lovely fat alligators. They're one of my favorites. They're just so fat, and they're just floating in the water, and it's amazing.
Oh, I missed it.
So
What
Dan,
is-
this is probably a question for you. Nana
Yes.
asked, what happens when you push the creatures into the water? Do they drown?
No, actually, they go to a farm, and the farm is where all good creatures go, and they live there for a very long time. And they must get married. I mean, they They must be happy. They must have all of these things kind of forced on them. And
They have a pension.
They have a pension. And
really good dental.
So it's really nice to know that the characters that fall off the world actually kind of enter this farm where they can live happily ever after.
I love how Lucky can like loot the vending machine with the vendors. It's like,
you know, it's Fox
Fanboy
rules.
Lucky,
It's Fox rules, and Fox rules are a little bit different. Got a little kind of carnival game going on here. Yeah.
Good job. First
Very
try.
nice. First try. Excellent. The U is all yours.
Aren't a couple of the carnival toys characters from Creativerse?
Yes. So, pro tip: if anybody has played our other game, Creativerse, we had a small homage to them in this game, and some of the balloons and some of the little toys are actually some of our characters from Creativerse. And we just stopped short of including a whole mini Creativerse game inside Lucky's Tale. That is also a live service with a lot of people playing.
Those kids.
Yes. Producers did not like that idea. They did not like it at all.
Well, let's go the other way and have somebody build Super Lucky's Tale in Creativerse using just arc signs.
I think that's a great idea. So the gauntlet has been thrown or submerged or whatever you do with the gauntlet. It has happened.
Nope.
Light it on fire.
We've lit it on fire and we have
slapped
requested.
somebody with
We slapped someone with it, and now you must go create Lucky's Tale in Creativerse.
It's so
This is
The moving
I meant
platform.
slapping somebody with a flaming.
Yeah, it's the multiple movement.
Yeah, it's a great little puzzle.
yeah, celebration time. Ooh, that's a fancy celebration time where he's flashing the entire time.
I got hit.
Yeah.
You're the cookie spooky killer.
Here we go.
So just like in real life, when you do something good for someone or a ghost, they create a platform out of the water and they raise it up.
And they
That's how I get to and from work
And
every
they
day.
light fireworks.
And they light fireworks.
Yeah, so we like the fact that this game really teaches real life lessons that you can take home, and that's why it's actually really good for your kids to play.
Yep. I can't get home without creating a couple of platforms by doing quests. So it's an efficient way to travel.
It is. It is. It really is, actually. Not so much in a car if jumps are required. Yeah.
You're not trying hard enough. Then. It's good fun to make the jumps in the car.
Yeah. Well, you got to create the ramp. You got to at least create the ramp. So these are giant mallets swinging back and forth, and it may be familiar ground.
Ooh, nice save.
No pressure.
Don't choke, man.
Oh, this is scary. I can't handle it. I can't handle the stress.
Oh man. So mean.
Nice job.
Alright, now just don't die on
It's
this
the
part.
ghost with the glasses.
You're fine. There's just
Is that like
many people watching you.
Is that like a
People are
hipster
watching right
ghost?
now.
He has like a messenger bag and Ray-Bans.
Yep, this ghost is a traveler, and just is a ghost of the world.
So far away.
I'm going to give Mike a tiny bit of credit here because he is actually playing through us to the screen, and so this embarrassing performance, I don't think he should be embarrassed forever about it,
Yeah.
just for
And
next
just-
couple of days.
It'll be on the internet.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about hanging your head in shame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll schedule that as well.
Yeah, as long as it's scheduled, you can do it.
Yeah.
I love these
I
little
brought you a
mini-games
hang
too.
head. What's your story?
Choose your story.
Yeah.
As a player, I want to hang my head.
Nice. Another carnival game. Oh, and a secret foxhole was revealed.
Alright, here we go. Don't die.
Let's see it. Ace. Ace. You've done it.
I've done it. I've got it.
He left some toys behind.
No, you left coins behind. It's a problem.
Uh-oh. Oh,
But
geez.
this time you won't, right?
I forgot about this.
Yikes. Okay, so this is a little crazy here. Let's see how Mike does.
No.
He has a limited amount of time to collect all these rainbow coins, and there are some very cute little reapers sitting here trying to prevent him from doing that. This is their one job, and they're doing it well.
I kind of want him to fail just so Rachel gets more tilted about not having all of the coins.
Yeah, he did it.
That one was it was harder than it looked. I'm not gonna lie.
Very nice.
Nana on YouTube asked, what childhood experiences triggered this creativity?
I really like the phrasing of that question and the delivery, by the way.
I try.
So, you know, one of my favorite experiences growing up was when I picked up new hardware, new gaming hardware or something like that, right? There's used to be like a pack-in game. There's like this immediate experience that you run to and you play and you get lost in for hours, right? And so Super Lucky's Tale, I think, represents that really strongly to me and to the team as well. And that's just, it's the type of experience that we want to play. It coincides today with the release of the Xbox One X, so that's really awesome. And you know, we really wanted to have that experience together, right?
Yeah.
So here's new hardware, here's this really fun game to go play. It's kind of like not even a deep choice. You just want to have fun, right? And those experiences meant a lot to us. They were kind of uncomplicated, easy to enjoy, delightful experiences, and that's what we were trying to do here.
As long as
Yeah,
you,
we
as long
got
as you
it.
get the letters.
To die.
Clover time.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so as you're seeing, it's getting a little bit more intense than our previous footage. You got it. Nice.
Ride the line.
We are getting close to 300 coins. I'm curious
I don't
now
think I'll make it.
what you were talking
I'm gonna
about.
have to go back.
I don't know. I don't think Mike has it in him for
think I have it
300
in me.
coins.
I don't think we gotta worry about it.
Oh man.
So,
We won't spoil that for you after all.
Oh, shoot.
it's a little do-si-do here. All right.
Ghosty doe.
A ghosty dough, I mean. How can I miss that? Oh, goddamn.
Dan, we're gonna talk about hanging your head in shame here.
So-called pun master.
So called, man.
Alright, come here.
But thankfully, I mean, that was it. I mean, we have not written a single pun into Lucky's Tale or Super Lucky's Tale. And so I would challenge anyone to find a single pun in this game.
Yeah.
It's been
Definitely not in the title.
there's
Definitely.
not starting at the title. I don't think there's a single pun in this game. So we hate them and we don't want to see them, and we do not think that they are the finest form of comedy.
Dan's just trying to downplay the fact that I don't know that he knows how to
so
communicate
close.
without using a pun.
So I have a problem.
He had a speech impediment,
Yeah.
and he had to learn how to talk without puns.
I have a problem, and when I write something, I tend to put puns in it, and I just can't stop. So just let me know if you catch one. It might have slipped through.
No, I like watching your spreadsheet.
Alright. Did you want me to play something else?
Hey, Paul, get on over here. Let's add to the party.
Bye,
Add
guys.
to the party. Yay, it's Paul. Come on in, buddy.
Hey, you want to come front?
Here,
Here, you scoot over.
come on in.
There, go front. So you want me to go?
Well, you can have a turn. We're all here.
Paul, this is Paul Bettner. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm the founder and CEO of Playful.
Yeah, buddy. So this
I have the
game
first
is all
popper.
you. You have the first popper.
Yes.
You've got poppers, by the
Yeah,
way.
we
we've
have
been giving
poppers.
Actually, look at. Hold on. Let me.
Who's got poppers?
This is apparently a popper. I don't
Whoa,
really
that's
think we
a
should light this off though, because
Wow.
Don't point it at your face.
I will be getting stuff out of my keyboard for years.
seriously, that one looks dangerous.
That spells the end of Playful, whatever that was.
Don't light that
Yeah,
off.
that was scary.
So, Paul, do you have anything you'd like to share? What's been your reaction to seeing people play the game?
I am.
I jumped to it.
Man, you can pick whatever you want. Let's do it.
I am overjoyed to the point of tears to see people finally get their hands on this game and get to share in the joy of what we've created. And this is truly the Playful. This is what we do it for: is to see people, you know, be happy and be joyful with what we've created. And we've been watching that happen today on Mixer, on YouTube, on Twitter, and I'm like stuck to it now. I'm just sitting there refreshing Twitter and watching one person after the other say, "Oh my gosh, I love Lucky," and we love you too.
Yeah. Hey, let's see if we can get this to happen.
Gosh, the first popper.
The first one.
Okay, here we go.
It's not as
Look
aggressive
out.
as I thought it would be.
It's
Oh
give
my
me the big
gosh.
one.
it's spring mounted, so we have to keep that in mind.
Ah!
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. gotta get the full effect of it.
All right, we're doing it. All right, everybody.
Sorry, Dave.
My desk!
This stream might go really bad. Okay, here we go. This is the moment.
Okay,
Everybody, come on.
Everybody come down.
We're getting everyone together.
Let's wait. We gotta. All right.
Hey, everybody, it's Playful. Playful, say hi to everybody.
Okay. Somebody count down.
That was good.
I think we might have broke a fire hazard. Fire marshal's on his way. All right, everybody, just let's all wave goodbye to our wonderful fans. Thanks for playing.
Hey, we love you.
Bye. Man, I can't even find my mouse and all this stuff. Bye.